Just about all set here. Okay, I think we've got Zoom on. Good morning to everybody on Zoom, and we are in the courtroom. We've got a little change up today. Our jail clients are actually going to be physically present in the courtroom. I need to address them first. So folks on Zoom, if you'll hang on for just a moment, we can go on the record. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to Drug Court. I'm Judge Martin, and I'll let Ms. Farrell from the state call the docket. I think we need to, yeah. I think there's a manpower shortage, they said.
Yes.
We can do for our last address. We can read the bottom of page 3, 16 CF 112.
Okay. So we're going to have Reed, then Victoria, then Jackson, so we can let them know that. Everybody's a little rusty on this. And so you all know I've got Ms. Kunkel and Ms. Boris on Zoom. In addition to the big three. Okay, good morning, Mr. Reed. Wherever they want you. You all want him seated or at the podium? What do you want? I'm fine either way. Gentlemen, Corporal? Okay, nobody's looking at me. All right, hey, good morning, Mr. Reed. All right, Mr. Reed's with us on 18 CF 412, bottom of page 3 on violation. Mr. Darrow, have you got any update for us on Mr. Reed's situation?
Judge, I've been talking with Ms. Farrell. She's made him a couple offers. We got to that point yesterday. I'm going to need an opportunity to sit down with him. I'm sitting either tomorrow or Monday, and in the jail and talk to him about the offers and see what route he wants to go.
Okay. And so you want to reschedule Mr. Reed's violation? How far out do you want it? Okay. Let me just double check where we are here on the calendar. Okay. So next week would be June 10, and you think that'll be sufficient?
Yes.
All right. Okay, Mr. Reed, then that's what I'll do. I'll reschedule the matter to the 10th. Let Mr. Darrow finish his conversations with the state and then get with you, and then whichever pathway you all choose, that's what we'll do. Okay? Okay? All right. Okay, then we'll see you next week, June 10th.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you.
You too.
All of page 4, on page 5, 20 CF 505, 506, 518.
Okay, Mr. Victoria, good morning. I'm doing okay. How are you doing? What's the status on Project Recovery? You said 11 more days? Okay. And Mr. Darrow, have you all been able to speak? Have you got an update for me?
Yes, Judge, I've been working with Ms. Carroll and with Mr. Victoria. I believe we have a resolution worked out. The state is seeking a prison term, however, he's going to have enough time in that would have satisfied that term. So I believe we're just going to be able to just do a time served plea once he's done with project recovery.
Okay.
I do need to talk to him about, make sure he understands everything, because Ms. Carroll reminded me adjudication was withheld originally. So I'll do another visit with him.
Okay.
To talk about that. But I anticipate we would have a plea, and I would think if we go 2 weeks out, that would be a day or two after he's done.
Okay.
Hopefully resolve it with time served.
Okay, and that would be June 17. I'm just trying to make sure I stay away from our dates that will be out of commission. So June 17 works fine. Obviously, Mr. Victoria, that's a pretty attractive opportunity, but it's going to depend on you finishing project recovery. Sounds like you've gotten very, very far in the program, so don't ease up. Don't get distracted or take your eye off the ball, okay? Make sure that you finish strong, and then we'll see you back in a couple of weeks to, sounds like, get everything resolved. Any questions? Okay, all right. We'll see you June 17th. Thank you. Okay, and then Ms. Jackson. Good morning, Ms. Jackson. Good morning. We get to see you in 3D today. Tell me how you're doing. Okay. Good. Mr. Darrow, can you update the court on what you've been working on?
Yes, Your Honor. We explored a few options for Ms. Jackson based on where she currently is, with the amount of time she has in, and future plans. She's going to accept the state's offer, which would be 9 months in the county jail with 3 months suspended on completion of project recovery. By my math, she has about 138 days in as of today. So when she finishes project recovery, she'll be done. I'm going to ask the court to enter an order ordering her into project recovery, which I will submit. And I have discussed with her the fact that it will be a 6-month driver's license suspension. She did originally have a withhold. I've discussed registration requirements and the fact that she would now be a convicted felon. She does want to do that. We've been over. I didn't have an updated score sheet, but I did go over the prior score sheet and anticipate what the final points would be.
You want the 25?
Yeah. Because I remember it was right around 25, which is what we talked about. We went on a prior, and it would be correct.
Okay. All right. And so she'll admit the violation. I'll revoke, resentence to adjudication, which is a 6-month driver's license revocation, 9-month jail sentence with all credit. Are we comfortable putting 138 on the judgment as her credit today?
That's based on my math. If she's okay with that number, what I did was she had 125 days in on, okay, so that's 125 in on 521. So
you've got a relatively recent jail certification.
I should be fairly close
okay.
On the jail. Yeah. Okay,
if the state's comfortable, then we'll note 138. And then we're agreeing to suspend up to 3 months of the jail time upon successful completion of project recovery. And then cost of prosecution and defense. Are there any other terms?
No.
Okay. All right. Ms. Jackson, did you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to accept those terms and resolve your violation this way?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had enough time to talk to Mr. Darrow and understand the adjudication, the driver's license, all the consequences here?
Yes.
All right. Is this what you want to do?
I understand a lot better since we're
It's a lot easier, isn't it?
But yeah, I understand.
Good.
That's my bad, because I completely forgot that I could go over and see her live. I've gotten so used to the jail.
Yeah, it's much better.
Good.
I understand.
Do you want to go forward with this today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Why don't I have Ms. Jackson come to the podium then, and I'll have you, when you get there, raise your right hand. We'll get you sworn in.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the state attorney's going to ask you a few questions there. Oh, you know what? Yes. Either that or, yeah.
Good. I'll just stop.
We also could have Mr. Darrow share the defense table and give you the state table.
That's fine.
I can just go over the defense stuff. That's all. These are-
Okay. Yeah, because Ms. Jackson's our last in custody person. Yeah, we don't need to displace you, Mr. Darrow. If you want to, oh, she just needs to be near that microphone.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Chuck.
Please have you state your full name and date of birth.
James LaShonda Jackson, 9886,
And what are the last four digits of your social security number?
1852,
Ms. Jackson, where were you born?
in Nicholson Indian Hospital.
Do you have any issues reading or writing the English language?
No, ma'am.
Do you suffer from any mental health issues?
No, ma'am.
And are you currently on any medication prescribed to you by a doctor?
Not at the time.
Are you on anything that has not been prescribed? Drugs, alcohol, or anything that you should not be on? Okay. And how far do you want to go?
11.
Okay. In case number 18 CF 1846, you were previously placed on probation for the charge of possession of cocaine. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
With all the terms and conditions that you were to abide by explained to you by your probation officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you admit to violating certain terms and conditions? And I'll go over the ones that are alleged in your affidavit.
Yes, ma'am.
The first would be violation of condition 7 by testing positive for THC on January 27, 2021. You also admit to violating another condition 7 by admitting to using Molly or MDMA on January 27, 2021. Another special condition 7 by failing to attend meetings on January 26, 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
And finally, the amended affidavit violation, which would be another violation of condition 7 by testing positive for alcohol on May 3rd, 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had an opportunity to go over a VOP admission form?
Yes.
You did, okay. You understand all the rights that you're giving up by admitting that you violated your probation today.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
You understand that there's not going to be a hearing based on your admission.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand you're giving up your right to make the state prove that you did in fact violate your probation at that hearing by the greater weight of the evidence.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand you're giving up your right to see the witnesses testify for the state and calling in your own defense.
Yes, ma'am.
Giving up your right to question the state's witnesses and you should testify if you chose to do so and present your defense to the jury. You understand you could have been sentenced up to 5 years in prison for this charge?
Yes, ma'am.
And as already has been placed on the record, as a result of this plea, you're going to become a convicted felon and a driver's license.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody forced you, or threatened you in any way that you could admit in violation? Have they promised you anything other than the terms of the plea agreement that you could admit?
No, ma'am.
And are you admitting because you believe it's your best interest to do that?
Yes.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the admission could be used against you in a deportation proceeding?
Yes, ma'am.
And also that if you have been in the past or are in the future convicted of any sort of sexually violent or motivated offense, the plea could be used against you in what's called an involuntary civil commitment proceeding. And that would only be if you qualified as a violent sexual predator under the statute. You understand that? That's something that we advise everybody of, looking at your history. I don't see any priors, so it only apply to you if you pick up that type of charge in the future. Understand that? Have you had enough time to discuss everything with Mr. Darrow?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes.
And you've seen the paperwork alleging the allegations of criminal violation, is that correct? And we just went over your score sheet where you reviewed the previous score sheet and had additional points for the violation.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you agree that the 24 points that I mentioned sounds accurate to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Darrow, have you gone over everything with your client?
Yes.
Excuse me, am I going to get a copy of my paperwork, Judge Martin, you all? Or no?
Of the judgment or
Like the,
of the
of
variance?
what I'm going, like what I got to do, like with the going to, like just a copy of me going to the treatment.
Project Recovery?
Yeah, all of the, you know what I'm saying? Or do I have to come back to court and like things like that, paperwork and stuff like that?
You don't have to come back to court, and Madam Clerk, I don't know how we track paperwork to the jail. Does she get copies of anything? Or?
I'm gonna print the judgment and she'll get it before she.
Okay, we'll hand you a copy of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Good question.
I already sent it to the, I've never had that not work.
You didn't copy me?
No, I didn't. I can't.
Okay.
And another question, when you say register as a felon, that means I have to go every month? Because I never did it before, so I want to know. Do I have to go every month to like, to the courthouse or to where?
As far as registering as a felon, the jail should instruct you on that. No, I don't believe you need to do it each month or anything like that. I think you just need to update when your address changes, but
Okay.
the jail can tell you better than I can.
That sounds right. I haven't seen one of those charges.
They just need to have your current address.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know, that's why I was asking about that.
Right, I'm just sending. Thank you. Sending my assistant a note to go ahead and file that. Okay. Making sure she knows she can get that order through. All right. Okay, Ms. Jackson, I will accept your admission. I'll revoke the old probation that I placed you on when you came into drug court and resentence you as follows. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the possession charge. That means I'm required to revoke your driving privilege for a period of 6 months. I'll indicate I have no objection to a hardship if you qualify for it. So have someone give you a ride to DMV and you can find out what you need to do to get that done. I'm going to sentence you to 9 months in jail, give you credit for 138 days that you've already served, and I'll promise to suspend up to 3 months in jail upon your successful completion of Project Recovery. So if you finish Project Recovery when you only have 2 months left, well, then I'll suspend all 2 months. But depending on how quickly you can get in there and get through it, you'll be able to get as much as 3 months off your sentence, okay? I'll impose $100 each for the cost of prosecution and defense of this matter. Do you have any questions about any of that? Madam Clerk, did we get everything that you needed? And Mr. Darrow, I'll just confirm one more time, the score sheet with 24.8 total sentence points and 0 to 5 years as the range. Is that what you all reviewed? Any objection to me accepting and relying upon that for the plea? Okay, so we got 9 months county jail, and I'll sign that. And did we have a score sheet? I know we're not used to doing score sheets because we're not used to having. I have I'm sorry, I said score sheet, plea sheet.
I did not have her do one. I think she had one in the back.
They never, they asked me, but I told them that I'm drug court, so.
I probably should never do a plea form because we're not used to doing that because the jail's been doing all that for us.
I'm out of practice.
Rex, you're
They
limping.
did ask me, I said, I don't know if I can make one, because I'm with drug market.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Everybody trusting in how this works now.
Yeah, well, we usually have felony ones in here because don't we do, is EID still happening here? It was. Ms. Jackson, while they're getting that paperwork together, let me talk to you for just a second. So it's kind of bittersweet. You've got your case resolved. You've got a pathway through this thing that's going to get you some good treatment in Project Recovery. That's run by David Lawrence Center. They've got some pretty good, they've got good things going on there, trauma and all sorts of things. So you'll get to work on some things that maybe you haven't been able to on the outside. But I know you've been at this for a little while, and I want to remind you that while there's been some setbacks along the way, there's also been some pretty tremendous victories and tremendous progress. I don't want you to forget it. I'm certainly not forgetting it. All right. The biggest deal, you have great instincts. You know what you need to do. What do y'all need? Okay. I hadn't looked at it yet. Have y'all got a pen she can use? Okay. Now I gotta see how we do this. I'm assuming it's this maybe now? There, that looks like a judgment over there. Okay. Okay, I approve. Great. Thank you. Sign off on this. Okay, I think I gave you the score sheet already. Great. So, Ms. Jackson, as I was saying, you did a lot of things right. You have really good instincts. You know what you need. I remember one time when things were starting to go sideways, you knew, I got to get to St. Matt's. I got to get connected with this person. I've got to change some things up. Going back to Immokalee so far hasn't worked great for you. So I want you to be thinking about, you don't have to have it all figured out right now, but while you're in there, use your time and be thinking about what's your plan when you get out. Can you find a place to stay in Naples, or you can go to St. Matt's and then work from there? You got yourself some good jobs. You got yourself a good sponsor. You had a lot going for you. I don't know what happened this last time that pulled you off balance, but I hope that you'll spend the next few months working through that and figuring it out for yourself. You're a smart young lady. You know what you need to do. We're not going anywhere just because you didn't go through drug court and have me terminate your probation successfully. You did graduate from this program. You moved on. It was kind of a big day. I remember it. And I hope that you appreciate that you've got a lot going for you. Just because we entered a judgment today doesn't mean anything stops, okay? You've got what you need, and we're not going anywhere. We'll help you when you get out. The reentry team in the jail, what is she now? Captain Kennedy? You seen Kennedy?
They set me up with, there's a college.
Okay.
I
Okay.
told her I was going back to St. Matthews.
Okay.
And St. Matthews, and my job was already involved in everything. Like I told my job that I don't want them to be so in a rush or know that I'm coming out right then. I told them I'm trying to get things situated. So I still want to be in good standards with them and not leave them on the grind.
All right.
I know that I'm locked up and he knows that I'm still here. So I keep contacting them so they know
Good.
the status. And like I told them, don't wait for me. Just put my application to the side, but I still would like to continue on working with them.
Okay.
I just want him just to know that I'm not going to be out just like that if he feel like that. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Last time I saw you in court, you told me what you were doing, your sponsor, your job, St. Matt's. It was a great recipe. So I know that you can and have done a really strong program. And I just encourage you, use this time, use the jail reentry resources. You're right on track. You're thinking about how to set this up. And look, whatever went wrong to bring you back in here, just think about it. I don't want you bogging down with a lot of shame or guilt or regret. Ditch all that, it won't help you. But if there are lessons, if there was a person or a place, right? Or if there was a stress level that you didn't really, appreciate in time and it got out of hand, whatever it was, hopefully you can regroup a little bit and go back out stronger and ready to deal with it, because we know you're capable. We've seen you achieve incredible things. I want to see that again. And look, when you get out, if we can help at all, by the time you get out, we'll be back in court on Tuesday afternoons in this room. Stop by anytime. We will absolutely love to see you. Okay. And you know the gang up at Horseshoe Drive will help with anything that they can. So whatever you need, just speak up. That rule never changes. Okay. Any questions or anything that you want to address now?
No, just thank you so much.
All right. Well, good luck. Get it done in Project Recovery. Get everything you can. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Okay. All right. And then probably turn to our folks on Zoom. Yeah, I think I would like to address Ms. Kunkel first. So I'll get my screen back up. Good morning, Ms. Kunkel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Good, good. It's nice to be able to see you. I understand you're preparing for a transition there.
Yeah, I am. On the 8th, which is this coming Tuesday, will be my 365. So technically I'm done, but I'm going to be staying on property in Alva for a little bit longer because I'm waiting to go into Wolf Apartments.
Okay.
And my apartment won't be ready until mid-July.
Okay.
So I'm going
All
to.
right. And let me put in front of me because I took some really good notes the other day on everything that I wanted to be sure to tell you. Okay, good. So I think the main reason you wanted to pop on with us today was kind of to get an idea of what happens next, where do we go from here and so forth. And we had a good discussion at our staffing on Tuesday. I'll state the obvious first. The team is really, really proud of how well you've done there, and we're really excited for you to make this next transition. In light of the fact that you have done everything you've done there, and obviously all this depends on you continuing to finish strong and to stay on the path that you've been on. But what we're talking about doing is this. You'll stay there and you'll, of course, still be on probation. It's a Lee County officer that you have there, right?
Yes.
So you'll stay with them until you transition to Wolf. While you're there, David Lawrence is going to work on setting up a clinical assessment with you by Zoom so they can kind of get ready for you and have a treatment plan ready to go. Obviously, you'll tell them everything you've been doing for the last year because that's a big part of the puzzle. We don't want to duplicate services or anything like that, but they just want to figure out, okay, what's going to make sense clinically to give you support going forward as you transition from that program. So they'll do a tele-assessment. And then when you are cleared to come down to Wolf, you'll want to let your probation officer know in advance, right? And they'll hand you back over to a Collier County officer. And as soon as you are relocated to Collier, then you'll activate that treatment plan with David Lawrence, whatever they've recommended from the clinical assessment. You won't start it till you move back to Collier. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
The other piece of the puzzle that we thought is this. Obviously you've been there for a year, so you don't know any of the folks that we currently have and they don't know you. You are going to go through a graduation with Justin's Place, which, by the way, I'm going to try to attend. I try never to miss those graduations. But we thought as a team that probably makes more sense for you than to do our traditional moving on in drug court. That kind of would be awkward. So we'll let Justin's Place have the pleasure of doing the ceremony, but we will credit your moving on, so to speak, from drug court effective Tuesday, whatever your graduation date is from the program. So you said June 8th, that'll be the point that we will consider you to have moved on from the in-court part of drug court. And then just to sort of refresh your memory, what we typically do from there is we do keep you with David Lawrence for whatever other supports you need and with probation. Eventually, David Lawrence Center will agree with you that it's time they can close out with you and you'll just stay on probation. Typically, I am entertaining a motion to terminate probation at approximately 1 year from the moving on. So you would potentially be on probation to next June, again, assuming we don't have anything that causes me to change that. The newer folks who come into drug court in the last 6-8 months, the handbook actually makes that clear that they can expect to do a year of probation. You're in a unique situation, but I just want to tell you, typically that's what we would expect to do. And it shouldn't be too heavy of a lift, but hopefully between Wolf and drug court, you just have some support to make that transition a smooth one. Do you have any questions about what I have outlined there?
No, just I know when I do the reassessment with David Lawrence, so typically like I'm in aftercare. I've heard people talk about that. So
yeah, and that'll be up to the clinical assessment. We're like I said, we have a new handbook now, and so sometimes the language that we use from the old school and the new school is tricky. Yes, probably essentially what you're going to be in is aftercare, but I have pushed David Lawrence to get away from that language because strictly speaking, aftercare is a group that meets once a month, and we have you do at least 3 of those. You'll probably do that, but we may have you do some additional things. And we had some people saying, I don't have to do what David Lawrence says because I'm in aftercare and all I have to do is 3 aftercare groups. So the language got a little confusing. I don't know if that makes sense, but in a very general sense, yes, we're going to consider you as having moved on and then moving to what we loosely call our aftercare phase of our drug court program. Does that make sense?
It does. So do I have a curfew still or no? Okay. And then would I still be calling in every single day or?
I don't believe so. You would have to verify that with probation and David Lawrence. Ms. Morris might be able to tell you, but I don't think once you move on, we have you calling in. I think they may call you. Does that sound about right, Ms. Morris? They call you on occasion, but no, you're not doing the daily calls, but you can and will still be tested. So you've got to be responsive to your phone when we call you in.
Okay, perfect.
That's 7 days a week. So do make sure that you mentally set yourself to know I could get a call on a Sunday or a holiday and be hauled in on a test either by probation or David Lawrence, okay?
This was amazing news. And I just wanted to sincerely thank you and the treatment team and whoever had a part in the decision on sending me to Jill's place, because it's been one of the hardest, most rewarding years of my entire life. And it was a choice that I never would have made on my own, and it's changed my life truly. So I just wanted to sincerely thank you.
Wonderful. Well, it's great to hear that. And on behalf of the team, I'm thrilled to see you doing well, see you looking just healthy and happy. You obviously made very good use of the program there. We've seen the great work that they can do, but I know it's a major undertaking, and your courage in stepping up and taking that rather than taking an easier way out and just doing time speaks volumes for your recovery. So we're going to do whatever we can to support you as you transition back to the community. I love that you've got an opportunity at Wolf. I know they do great work there. And we'll work hand in hand with St. Matt's as we have been to just try to continue to support you.
All right, sounds amazing. Thank you.
Good. I'll look forward to seeing you. You won't have any court dates with me, but hopefully we'll have some occasion to invite you into court. I'm playing with some sort of an idea where we have an event with all the folks. You know, a lot of people have moved on just like this. They've moved on a video screen, and we haven't gotten to do our normal gatherings. So one way or another, we're going to have some kind of a post-pandemic reunion. So we'll make sure you're aware of that, and you'll have some familiar faces there, I'm sure.
Awesome.
But until then, keep the focus, keep doing what you're doing, and as always, ask for help if you need anything at all, okay?
Yeah, and I hope to see you at graduation. That'd be really cool if you could make it.
Me too. Tell me again the date of it. Is it the last week in June?
Yeah, it's the 29th.
Okay. I'm supposed to be away, but I will see how that ends up working out. But if I'm not there, I'm there in spirit, and I'm glad at least that I got to talk to you one-on-one today, because I'm really excited. You've really hung in there through some major stuff and done some great work. We're excited for you.
Thank you. It means a lot.
All right, Ms. Kunkel, and let me also note on my notes, Ms. Farrell, we're okay with wrapping things up here. Is that right? As far as the violation, I think I need an order. Do we want to do both of those on the 8th or? Perfect. Okay, Ms. Kunkel, are you still there?
I am. Can you see me?
The camera's off, but it's fine. Oh, there you are. So what I'm going to do, one last very important piece of information. You're with me today on my violation of probation docket. We've kept a violation of probation open this whole year to kind of hold it over you and make sure that you stayed on the path. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one more court date for that, which will be June, you want to do 10th or 17th? I guess we could do either. We'll do June 10th.
Okay.
And I will most likely not need you to appear for that. That's for our purposes. What our team will do is they'll verify with Jill's place on the 8th that in fact everything is official and you are graduated from them. And on that date, then we'll file with the clerk an order that dismisses this violation of probation and memorializes that you have moved on from the in-court portion of drug court. Again, what some people call you'll move into aftercare, and we'll have that all in the file. So that will make that June 10th date go away. All right, but we'll just kind of keep our foot in the door because we do need to get the official word on the 8th that everything in fact went through as expected.
Okay,
Any questions about any of that?
that's it.
Okay, all right, Ms. Kunkel, great to get to see you and talk to you, and keep up the great work. We'll see you when you're back in Collier.
Right, sounds good. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, and then we can address Ms. Boris, 18 CF 1078 on page 1. Ms. Boris, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Very well. The team, thanks to, I think it was Janice that got this all pulled together for us. The team shared with us your very thoughtful and detailed email, as well as the letters of support and everything that you pulled together. You did a very nice job when I challenged you to say, give me the whole story so we can try to wrap our heads around it. You really stepped up and did a nice job on that. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Is there anything in that overview, anything that's changed or adjusted, or is that still the plan that you want to execute?
No, something has been added to it that in November, if this all goes okay today, in November, my grandmother, who I have not seen in 20 years, and my mom, who I have not seen in 11, I will be also visiting them. So October, I would be moving. The reason that it's October and November is because my friend, who is graciously allowing me to move into the other room that he has, he's going to be off of work for 2 months while they are taking care of the GM plant. They're doing some construction of some kind. Okay. So he has a sister near my mom and grandma. So we decided we could put our money together so I could go visit them in November. And I would be able to see my son in mid-October and start regular visits once a month to once every other month, depending on financials. So that is the plan. Actually, I thought I was just going to transfer probation. This wasn't even something that was on my mind. It was actually the probation officer who brought this to my attention, that this would probably be the best route. So I don't know, I probably made that into an explanation on there. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on, and I just feel like God's finally, putting together the promises that, was laid forth when I got arrested June 4th, 2018. Yeah. That, if I were to keep up the fight and keep getting up and dusting myself off and going forward, that I would be reunified with my children.
Wonderful. Well, we're really excited for you. And we did have a very thoughtful discussion in our staffing on Tuesday. And I'm pleased to let you know that the team is supportive of your request to fully terminate the probation.
Thank you.
You've been with us for a long time. And as much as I don't want to, eventually I'm going to have to cut that cord, right? And let you go on your own. So I'll try to get over my own feelings about that. But we're really excited for you. And it occurs to me, I very much enjoyed your moving on. And that's the only time I have really any insight into the actual story behind the men and women that we serve here. And in listening to your story, of course, I knew about 2 years worth of your story. I didn't know anything from before that, but you have faced down challenges that are larger than most people could ever even imagine. You're incredibly strong and intelligent. You've done amazing work with us. And I hope that all of those things will come together to keep you safe and help you make good choices for yourself in the next few steps. You put together a really smart plan. I don't know anything about this person who's letting you live with them, and I hope I don't have to go up to Tennessee and straighten him out at some point. Hopefully he's going to be respectful and appropriate and supportive of what you're trying to do, because you know what you need. You have tremendous insight. I've probably said that a dozen times. You know what you need to do. You've demonstrated your ability to do it consistently. You've handled some relationship challenges and other things here very, very well. So we have to, as a team, agree that you have what you need from us, and you've very much earned the privilege and the right to go forward and resume your life. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here to help if there's anything at all that you need. And I hope that you will stay in touch and let us know how these things are going.
Of course, yeah, I'm really grateful. You know, how many times that, you know, I've been in the court system, and no matter what, I wasn't ready, you know, and I knew I had the gift of desperation, which I had had many times before, but that gift never blossomed into a place of structure. And you guys were able to give me something that I couldn't give myself, which was that structure and a way that I can have coping skills. And so I'm keeping therapy, I'm keeping AA, I'm keeping everything that I need to do, because that's just, I mean, that's just common sense, you know? So I'm gonna continue on this journey the way that I need to continue, because like you guys say, don't change something if it's working, right? So
you figured out the formula for yourself. It includes faith, it includes a sponsor, it includes meetings, it includes some treatment support, and it includes your family. And we're excited to put that last piece of the puzzle in for you, because I'm a huge believer that is critical to you staying on the path. If we keep you here and your family's up there, eventually that pull is going to take you off the path. So you need to go be with them. But I'm going to encourage you one last time to always, every day and sometimes every hour, be checking in with yourself as to whether the person or persons near you are good company. Because if they are, the sky is the limit for you. When you put good people around you, your capabilities are unlimited. But if somebody gets around, I said this to you a year ago, everybody near you needs to be making your load lighter, not heavier. Your load is plenty heavy all by yourself. And if somebody comes into the picture who's adding to your load rather than lifting it up, if they're not supporting you and making your days easier to get through, if they're making them harder, it'll be too much for you, because you already have a full plate. Life has dealt you some very big challenges. So if you're smart about who's around you, you're going to do great. And I hope that even when you're off probation and you don't have quite as much structure from us, that you let your people be your structure, excuse me, and that you're very, very choosy about who those people are. Your community of faith has been a huge asset for you. You can't always be sure that people in the church are going to be great, but it's a good place to start. Same thing in the rooms, right? Sometimes in the rooms there might be somebody who's looking for a girlfriend rather than a program, but you can generally know that you can go there, and if you trust your instincts, you'll find good people. Keep them close, keep the circle small, right? And you're going to do great. So I hope we get some updates from you. And
of course,
how things are going.
Thank you so much.
I'm thrilled to sign.
And just for everything that you've been such an intricate part of my journey this whole time, because you've known me longer than most of the other people at DLC. And you know, just your compassion for what you do and the intimate knowledge that you keep on each individual just is astonishing. So I mean, you have done some amazing work, and I know you're going to be doing more amazing work, and just the work you've done with me is a miracle in itself. So thank you.
Well, it's been a privilege and an honor to bear witness to the hard work that you've done, and to be a part of a tremendous team that came together to help you on that journey. So we will say good luck, but we won't say goodbye, because you're going to stay in touch.
Thank you. So does this happen today? Is this done?
The public defender just emailed me an order, which I'm going to print and sign and file. So your probation is terminated. And now I want you to forget that I ever said that.
Not a problem.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Everything, Ms. Boris. Take care. Stay safe.
All right, I will. Bye.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, give me just a moment and I will, in fact, print that. Thank you, Mr. Darrow. I just got the Justin's Place invitation for their graduation. I don't know what it is about the PD software. This predates the ransomware, but it takes me several minutes to open a document from you guys.
For
It
now,
just spins and spins.
Yeah, there's some kind of cleansing, I think, going on now. I'll get stuff and there's like attached things and it won't let me open for a while.
Yeah, when I get Amanda's documents, no problem, but it's just something out of the, and again, this predated the last episode, but there it is, it came up.
We're dirty.
No, I think it's just the systems are not, they don't talk to each other very quickly. I'll get this printed and filed to the clerk, and while I'm doing that, we can address Ms. Cologne.
Bottom of page 1, and NCF 1809, top of page 2, 20 CF 50, no violations of probation or presence was waived, and the state will be asking to send us out for 20 days.
No objection, based on the reason.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, in 4 weeks is July 1, so I need to go to July 8 with that, if that's okay with you guys. So we'll move Ms. Cologne both cases to July 8 for status. She's doing great so far. Okay. And it's printed and filed. I think we'll be all set. Okay. I think that's everything. Anything else that we need to discuss on the record? All right. That'll conclude our docket then. We can go off the record and I can let the Zoom folks go. I'll close the Zoom. Have a good one, everybody.